Today I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful rice paper sails to add onto your cakes. You will need water, rice paper, a dish that is big enough to hold some water and to submerge the rice paper into it, silicone mat or parchment paper, food color and brushes. You want to use water-based food color. In this video, I'm going to show you two different ways to form your sails. You can use a silicone mat or a parchment paper. Before I start working on the rice paper, I'm going to prepare the silicone mat and parchment paper. This is where I'm going to place the rice paper on in order to dry and form their shapes. I'm going to fold the silicone mat lightly and secure the shape with a clip. Silicone mat will give the rice paper a smoother surface once it's dry. As for the parchment paper, I'm going to crumple them up to give the rice paper a crinkly look. To begin, you want to cut the rice paper into smaller pieces. You can also just use the entire piece if you want a large sail. You can cut them into the final shape you want, but it really doesn't matter at this point because after you soak them, you can shape them however you want. First, fill your dish with some cool water. For this batch, I'm not going to color them because I want them to be transparent, and I will add color after they are dry. Submerge the rice paper pieces into the water. This is hard to see because they become transparent when they get wet. It will only take a few minutes for the rice paper to get completely softened. Usually I will keep filling it with my fingers to see if they are ready. Once they get softened, take it out and place it onto the surface. This is when you can shape them however you want. Once you're happy with the shape, just leave them to dry. It will take one whole day to dry completely. You want all of the moisture to evaporate so they will be nice and hard. If you're a little bit impatient or in a hurry, you can pop them into the oven. Turn to the lowest setting and let it sit there for an hour or an hour and a half. For the second batch, I'm going to color the water before I submit the rice paper in it. You can mix it all the way around to get one solid color, or use two or more colors like what I'm doing here. They don't have to be evenly diluted in the water. The uneven tone is what's going to make the sails pretty. I will add more color after I take the rice paper out if needed for some heavier shades. You only need very little bit of color. Submerge the rice paper into the colored water. This time I'm going to place them on the crumpled parchment paper. While it is still very wet, I'm going to add some darker shades to it. Dilute the color with water, then brush it on the rice paper. This will add more interesting shades to the sails. Now, depending how you are planning to add this onto your cake, sometimes it's easier if the sails are on a toothpick, so you can place it on top of the cake like a cake topper. Now I'm going to show you how to add toothpick to the sails. Once you took it out from the water and formed the shape, wrap the toothpick on one end and leave it to dry. It may seem insecure at this point, but it will stick together firmly once it's dry. There are really no rules on how large or small they have to be. The beautiful thing about these rice paper sails is no matter how you shape or color them, they will all look very pretty, and you're not going to fail. Now the sails are all nice and dry, I'm going to carefully remove them from the silicone mat and parchment paper. Now I'm going to apply color on these transparent ones with some gold airbrush color here. I apply color all around the edge with a regular paintbrush. Then I use a stencil brush to add some speckles to it. And this is it. You can now use them to decorate your cake.